Hey guys, it's Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to make over some items and we're going to start with this tray. Although this is new, I did thrift it and I love that it is completely unfinished because when you find an item like that, then you're starting with a clean slate, and to me that's just easier. So I got this gift bag at the Dollar Tree, and I didn't purchase it to use as a gift bag. I actually purchased it because I like the graphics on the front, or on both sides of it actually. So I'm going to use this gift bag to make over this tray, and I'm also going to use the other side to make something else. So I'm going to get two uses out of this. So I just cut this to fit the inside of the tray, and then I'm going to paint this tray in the color cotton. So I give this 2 coats of the color cotton, and then I'll take some sandpaper or my sanding block and do some light distressing on it. And then I will finish it off with some clear wax. But before I add the clear wax, I'm going to go ahead and glue the graphics inside because I didn't want to accidentally get some of the wax on the inside and keep my my paper from sticking. So, like I said, I'll just finish it off when I'm finished decoupaging the paper inside. So I just do that with Mod Podge, and then I put a couple of coats of Mod Podge over the top of it. And then once that's dry well, then I can use some clear wax on the wood. And I thought about putting legs on this tray, but I decided I wanted to keep it more versatile and just leave the legs off so that it could be used to decorate with in other ways besides using it for a tray. So here I am with the other side of the bag, and I'm just going to cut this out. And then for this project, and this is not a makeover, this is actually, I'm going to be making a tree box or a tree skirt out of 2 of the large foam boards from the Dollar Tree. So for this project, I need 2 large foam boards and in white, and then 1 bag. And all of this I've gotten at the Dollar Tree. Now I guess you could start with a black foam board if you wanted, and then you would have something to kind of distress through. But it was just easier for me to start with white. So I'm cutting this to fit my graphics, and because of the size of this, I was able to get 2 sides out of 1 board. I probably should have went a little bit larger because when I go to do my trim out, I have to avoid the graphics, so it would have been a little bit easier had I gone a little bit larger. And by larger, I mean actually taller, because I didn't have any problem avoiding the graphics on the sides, just on the top and the bottom. So you might want to consider going a little bit taller than I did. So in order to cut this foam board, you just have to score it on one side with a straight edge and then fold it. And then once you fold it, you'll be able to cut the back side. So it's just very easy to cut. It's almost like cutting sheetrock if you've ever done that. You just score one side and break it, and then cut the other side. So I'm cleaning these edges up with some with a sanding block I'm going to be trimming it out, but I still wanted these edges to be a little bit smoother. So, okay, now I'm painting this in the color Cotton, and I know it's already white, and I'm not getting full coverage here on purpose because I want a little bit of shading. But I am going up and down with my strokes because the graphics have some planks that are going up and down. So I want to keep that look. And then after I get these painted, then I take a little bit of the color Gravel Road, which is another Dixie Belle chalk paint color. And you could use any gray or any white actually. And I just drug one corner, I just dipped one corner in that Gravel Road and then just kind of drug it down. And I'm not being precise about this. I'm very loosely drawing these lines. And then after I draw these lines, and you don't want to give it much pressure at all, then I'm just going to kind of clean my brush up by very lightly swiping it through the center of each of these so-called planks. So now that I have that done, and I have let this dry first, then I'm just going to glue that to the front. I'm just using clear school glue here, and I'm just going to glue that right to the front. I'm not going to worry with adding any graphics anywhere else except the front, because you'll see these planks on the side, and I feel like you need some of that anyway to make it look more realistic. If I had just covered each of them up, then it wouldn't look so much like wood. So now I'm working this really well to make sure that I get all the bubbles out and making sure that it holds really good. And then that's all that I'm going to do to the front until I trim it out. So now I have 4 sides. And I'm going to attach one of these to the front square with some wide masking tape. And this is just some wide masking tape that you get anywhere. It just doesn't have to have a whole lot to hold it, but you want it to be pliable, so you don't want to hot glue that, because I wanted to have this where I could fold it up if I wanted to put it away. You could definitely make it without it folding. I just was thinking storage, this would be easier. So now this is the leftover foam board that I have, and I'm using one of these with the straightest edge, and cutting some 1-inch strips, and I'm just going to cut several of these because I'm going to use it to trim out my front and 2 sides. I'm not going to worry with trimming out the back, but the front and 2 sides, I'm going to trim those out. So I'm just cutting that. I don't worry with any 45-degree corners. I'm just doing them all straight because this is just going to be a rustic look. And I'm just going to put this around all of these. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have started with the sides, because when I put the trim down the sides of the front, ideally it would cover the other trim, if that makes sense, and it will when I get to that. But instead, I overlapped the side. And I just think, although I think it looks fine finished, but it probably would have been a little bit better plan to see here I'm overlapping over the side. If I had done that on the front, it probably would have looked a little bit better. So I would start with the sides if I were you. So like I said, I'm just hot gluing these all the way around, both sides and the front. Now, if you wanted, you could leave the back off altogether, but you know, it's just easy for me to add that back in. And I know that some of the tree skirts are just like this. They don't have a back, and then you just kind of slide it. You just slide it over the front, and then that's fine. But I just added that back because some do have the back. And I did have enough poster board left over to do this with. So now here I am just kind of cleaning up these edges some more with a sanding block. And now I'm very lightly painting these white. And I just kind of touch a little bit of gray to it every now and then. Just kind of drag a little bit across it. You just wanted to give it a little bit of a distressed look, but you don't have to worry much with the trim. But as you can see, that makes a really neat little tree box. This would be really neat to do with small trees also. Just make your box a lot smaller. Now I'm going to put this little wooden box in my vignette, and this is just a little box that's not had anything done to it either. And I'm just using some olive green ink and stenciling these trees. My friend gave me these this tree stencil a long time ago, and it had several trees on it. And I think I saw these on Amazon once before, but I just thought this would work out good for this little box, and I'm kind of going with the tree theme here. And I wanted those trees to look a little bit snowy, so I just decided to put my stencil back exactly where it was, and just dry brush some little dots of white over the top. And that just gives them kind of a frosty, snowy look, and it helps it show up more. And the trees that I'm going to be putting in this box have the frosty look to them, so I just felt like these trees needed it also. Now once I have that finished, then all I'm going to do is stuff some styrofoam down in here. I didn't even glue it. I just cut it to where it would fit tight, and then I'm just going to stuff it down in. And then I just take my remaining pieces and fill in where I have space. And now I'm going to glue my trees in. And I get these little set of 3, one larger and then 2 smaller bottle brush trees at the Dollar Tree for $1.25. So I'm just going to glue the larger one to the center and the smaller ones on each side. And then I'm going to take some berries and just use the berries. I'm going to cut them apart and use those little berries and hot glue them on to resemble bulbs. And then I'm just going to make a little sign that says fresh cut trees and stick it down in the top of this box. But first I'm going to glue some Spanish moss in the top. So just kind of work that down in there, and once I get it filled in well and cleaned up, then I'm just going to take some fake snow that I get from the Dollar Tree and just kind of sprinkle that right over the top. And I felt like the Spanish moss needed a little bit of snow added to it. And now I'm making a little sign that says fresh cut trees and gluing it to a little skewer stick and then sticking it right in the top. And that's all that I'm going to do to that. And then for my last item, I'm going to just make over a little basket and put an arrangement in it. So this little basket I thrifted, and as you can see, it's in rough condition. I don't think it was the best quality basket anyway. It's got some fading on the top, but I just like the shape of it. So that's why I bought it, and I thought I could hide what I didn't like about it. So I'm just using some brown glaze here, and this is just the Van Dyke brown glaze from Dixie Belle. You could actually use a brown wax on this, or even a stain, but I'm just using the brown glaze on this and just kind of freshening the color up. So I just brush that on all over and wipe it off. And now I'm just going to put a little very simple arrangement in this. So I have to fold my stems down to get them the length that I want and kind of maneuver that. And like I said, I'm going to keep this very simple. I'm going to use these 2 stems only. And then I'm gonna put some little candy canes in it. And I thrifted thrifted 5 or 6 of this size plastic candy canes, and I've wrapped them in cloth. And now I'm sticking them in at different heights. I like to alternate the height of these, but now I'm adding some berries. Now, I wish I could tell you where to get this size candy cane, but I don't even know myself, or I would order some. I order the smaller ones from Walmart when I can't find them at the Dollar Tree. But I don't know where to get this size. I really like this size. And now I'm just tying a bow around the top, and then I'm going to add a hang tag to this and finish it off. I'm just tying a simple bow in the top of this, and then I'll fishtail those edges by folding them in half and cutting a little V out. And then I'll just tie my little hang tag on, and I just kind of made it to match the colors that I wanted, and then this one will be finished. And for this little hang tag, I just altered one of the hang tags that you get from the Dollar Tree. So for tomorrow's video, I'm going to be taking some of the plain gift bags from the Dollar Tree and turning them into little works of art to present your gifts in. So watch for that tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and God bless you and your family.